His life mattered.
And on Thursday, the Tarrant County District Attorney says remains found in the backyard of Noel's former home could move the case against his mother, Cindy Rodriguez Singh.
We're still waiting on the medical examiner to tell us exactly what evidence was found.
Singh's attorney says until he sees an official report about what was found in this backyard, he has no comment.
Noel Rodriguez, the boy who was missing since March 2023. Well, you guys know that they dug up remains in the yard that the family used to live at. Well, they just confirmed today and just ID'd that that is Noel's remains. We're going to get into this whole situation, the case. We're going to get through the history of it because there were some questions. I see some people that didn't know what was going on about the whole case. Not only that, what about the stepdad? I don't see anybody talking about the stepdad. He is still out there as a wanted man. Fugitive TV, stay tuned. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel. And what we do here is we take a look at cases of missing individuals, cases that need a bigger spotlight, or cases that need a deep dive, more than what the media is giving us. And with these cases, a lot of times what we do is we give them a different point of view, a different perspective, a different lens. I was once a fugitive myself on the run from the law. I ran for 15 years. I lived in different countries. I assumed different names. Eventually things started to catch up, so I turned myself in. Now I own multiple businesses. I am a motivational speaker. I help family members locate missing people, and I also help locate people that need to be brought to justice that have done horrific things. Well, if you guys have not been following the case of Noel Rodriguez, now I will admit this happened in 2023, which is not long ago, okay? But 3 years ago. I wasn't following the case at that time. Now, I didn't take this channel and I didn't start doing true crime until a year ago. So I grew very fast in a year. You see, I have 25,000 subscribers. I am one of the fastest growing channels in the true crime sector. So at that time I wasn't following, but when they found the remains in the backyard, or when the news was saying they were digging for remains, I started doing my research and I started looking at who Noel was, not only who he was, but who the family was, the mother, because they kept showing the mother's face, the mother's picture, on the news, and, saying that she's in jail right now, which she is, and then that she is incompetent to stand trial. So, they kept talking about that. And then they found the remains, and they were thinking that it is him. They're positive that it was him, but they had to wait for an autopsy to confirm that it was him, okay? So I already planned on doing a story on this, but I was watching Stock Market Steve with the Dynamic Reason channel. Shout out to him, go follow him. He does a lot of news reports, so he does about probably 2 to 3 videos a day, if not more, on current event news. And so I watch a lot of his stuff, to get the current event news, because he does it all over, just like I do. So shout out to him. Now I was watching him, and then he mentioned something that I realized when I watch any of these networks, Fox or something, they really weren't saying much on. So he mentioned the stepdad, and he said, oh, the stepdad is still on the run with warrants. I was like, wow, I didn't even know there was a stepdad. I didn't even know, because from what I saw, now I wasn't like, I don't have the time to sit here for 5-6 hours and keep watching the news. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that. The YouTube channel that I have right here is part-time. Hopefully by the end of the summer, my goal is to make this full-time. Then I will have the time to sit here, 8 hours a day, and I can do what I want with the channel. But as of right now, unfortunately, I don't have that time. But I was like the stepdad. So then I start looking at that and I was like, well, they don't even talk about the stepdad much. So what we're going to do today is I know I'm not the only one that doesn't know about the stepdad, that doesn't know why Noel ended up in a foster care situation. Cause I was trying to figure that out too. Why did he even end up in a foster care situation? What the stepdad is actually wanted for, where he flew to, was he a part of this? Okay. So we're going to talk about all of that today. So what I'm going to do is, you guys know me, I always read a few articles, okay, a few outlets. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off reading you guys an article, and so you guys can get the full details. So shout out to people on Reddit. I get a lot of information from Reddit, and a lot of that information becomes true. Somebody pretty much summarized everything that happened. So shout out to them. And we're going to take a look at this. So it says, hello, everyone. I wanted to bring you all an update to a case I've covered a long time ago. About 2 years, in fact. It's somewhat bittersweet. So, about the Noel Rodriguez Alvarez case. And they just positively confirmed it was him. So this person right here has been covering this case since it's for 2 years, okay? So it says, Noel Rodriguez Alvarez was born on 2nd of February 2017. He was born prematurely, which resulted in him suffering from developmental delays in speech and behavior, estropia, which gave him cross eyes, and a lung condition. He had to have oxygen inhalations. Noel's parents were Cindy Rodriguez Singh, and his stepfather was Arshdeep Singh. Noel had 9 siblings, 6 ages 11 to 5 months, who lived with him and his parents in Everman, Texas. And the 3 eldest who lived with Noel's grandparents, their ages are unknown. All right. So there's more siblings than what I kept hearing on the news. I believe the news kept saying 6 or something like that. So Noel and his 2 siblings were taken away temporarily after Cindy had a drunk driving incident where she hit a pole with her car while having the kids in her car. The siblings were given to a Patrice Paris, a foster mother with the experience in looking after special needs kids. She and Noel developed a close bond and stayed in contact after Cindy got her custody rights in 2021. Patrice's last contact with Noel was in the fall of 2022 when Cindy stopped responding to her FaceTime calls. So I saw a stepmother, or foster mother pretty much, on the news saying that she should have just gave Noel back to her. And I was wondering, and the whole time I was like, how, where did the foster mom come into play here? So this tells you. So they're saying that Noel's mom was drunk one night, got into an accident, ran into a pole, and had her kids in the car. And because of that, Child Protective Services took the 2 kids away. And that was how they ended up in foster care. Matter of fact, here is an old video of the foster care mom talking about Noel.
Hi.
He was small but mighty. A playful boy who always had a toy in hand, a smile on his face, and a giggle that filled the house with joy.
That was my son. That was my baby. Noel way over there. Look.
Back in 2020, Patricia Paris fostered Noel Rodriguez Alvarez.
Wherever I went, he was like my shadow.
And in 1 year, they formed a special bond.
That was my buddy. My cool dude.
Noel, look at the camera. Noel.
And they shared memories she can't forget.
You want a burger? Yep.
Yep. I would say, Sweet Pea. He would say, Mommy. I would say, no, Noel, I'm not your mom. I'm Sweet Pea. He'd say, no, you're Mommy.
And that's why when Everman police announced the boy, who hasn't been seen since November, is believed to be deceased,
I still couldn't believe it.
can't believe the boy she wanted.
So sad, so sad. She said Noel was calling her mom. I mean, so they were getting attached. Very sad. Now, it says right here, Noel was last seen in October of 2022 when he was present during the birth of his little sister in a hospital. Though the staff had mentioned that he looked malnourished and unwell. In the same month, Noel missed a string of doctor's appointments, and Cindy got a letter saying that if Noel will miss one more visit, his benefits will stop coming. One of Cindy's friends said that she allegedly wanted to borrow her son to pass him off as Noel. So what they mean by benefits is she was most likely receiving state benefits, as in health care and food stamps, WIC. So she was getting benefits to keep food on the table, not just for him, but probably for the rest of the siblings and the family, plus his health care. So those are the benefits they're probably talking about. Now, I don't know if she was receiving cash at the same time too. That part, I don't know. But when they say benefits, it's always implying usually health care, food stamps, you know, and WIC to a certain age. Then after a certain age, the WIC gets cut off. So then it says, now Cindy's friend said that she actually asked to borrow, you know, this other kid who was Cindy's friend's son. Hey, can I borrow your son to pass them off as Noel? Now, I could talk about this now because rest in peace. A friend of my mother, a long time ago, I was little at this time, and I'll never forget this. Now, back in the day, now when you get food stamps, you can just go online and you fill out the application online, a lot of these places, and they approve you online. You know, you have a phone card. You hardly have to go into some of these places nowadays. But back in the day, before all this, you physically had to go to the welfare office and stand in line, okay? And you would be there all day, all right? Now, I remember, I think I was maybe about 6 or 7 years old, so this was a long time ago. This had to be in the 80s. And I remember standing with my mom's friend in line. Now, at that time, I didn't realize what was going on. I just remember her telling me, hey, if they ask, I am your mom. I just remember, and she's like, don't say nothing else. Unfortunately, she passed away. My mom's friend, she passed away a while ago. So this is why I can tell you guys this, because I don't have to worry about her getting in trouble. She's no longer with us. But at the time when I was little, I didn't realize, hey, this woman's committing welfare fraud, you know, passing me off as her son. I didn't know at the time or whatever, right? So reading this, I see exactly what she was trying to do, because, hey, it happened to me when I was little. Now, one thing I always wondered, because the media kept talking about them living in a shed. And I'm like, what do you mean they live in a shed? Well, this describes exactly what happened, okay? So it says the family lived in a converted shed on the property belonging to the 71-year-old Charles Parson. Parson wasn't related to either of the adults, but he was Cindy's friend of 10 years. Parson had allegedly saw Cindy and her 3 kids living in a van in front of his house and moved by their situation. He allowed them to stay on his property, first in his house, then in the shed. Once the family grew, the family didn't have to pay rent, but they were responsible for the groceries, and Cindy would look after Parsons due to his advanced in age. Now, on November 1st, Noel was present during the family's passport photo shoot. She applied for passports on the next day without one for Noel. 4 days later, she was looking up cost or a trip to India. So on November 1st, Noel wasn't present during the family's passport photos, okay? She applied for passports on the next day without one for Noel. So Noel was probably not alive at this time. He was already gone. Sad, but he was already gone before November 1st, all right, of 2023. Or this might be of 2022. They don't put, 2022. He was already gone probably of November 2022, because where would he be at? If the whole family's there for photos but him, so who's watching him, right? In March of 2023, CPS finally visited the family after receiving worrying statements about physical and mental abuse of Noel from his concerned relatives. The boy wasn't there. Cindy claimed that Noel was in Mexico with his biological father. Authorities have managed to contact Mariano Alvarez, Noel's father, who was deported to Mexico before Noel was even born, and claimed that he never met his son. So he never even got to meet Noel because he got deported. There was no proof of Noel ever crossing the U.S.-Mexico border either. Only 2 days after that visit, Archdeep, who is the stepfather, okay, stole $10,000 from his employer on the same day, the 22nd of March. The family of 8, Cindy, Archdeep, and Noel's 6 siblings, were seen boarding a flight on DFW, which is the airport in Dallas, first to Istanbul, which is Turkey. So they went to Turkey and then had a connecting flight to India, where Archdeep originally was from. So Archdeep Singh was originally from India. This is kind of where this story ended. There were searches carried out on the family's property, but the investigators didn't share if they found anything, though. Cadaver dogs have reached in a Pacific area on the property, and Archdeep was seen throwing out a large rug before the family fled to India. Cindy was indicted on charges of capital unaliving, because we can't say the M word on YouTube when you're a small channel like mine. So red rum, murder, 2 counts of injury to a child and abandonment with no intent to return. Well, yesterday on 21st of August, Cindy was booked into the Tarrant County Jail after an arrest in India. She's charged with capital unaliving of a person under the age of 10, and has a bond of $10 million. It's unclear if Archdeep was also arrested, which he's not. He's still out there. It has been stated that the couple's 6 children will go into foster care. Noel's body still hasn't been found. So this is before, okay, they found the body. So before they took off to India, there was already records of people reporting abuse. People were saying that she was also mean to Noel. They also said that she felt that Noel was possessed with demons. So if she felt that way, that might be the reason, which is still not a logical reason to do what she did or what any of them did, but a logical reason probably of like, hey, this is why I need to get rid of you because you're possessed with demons. And I mean, even though I haven't been doing this channel long, I've come across a lot of cases where they think that, hey, I need to save you. I need to get rid of you because you're possessed with demons, and this is the way to free your spirit or free your soul. You'd be amazed at how many people think of this and think this is true, and carry out these procedures because they think this stuff is true. So this is from StarTelegram.com. Noel, who had physical intellectual disabilities, was last seen in October 2022, and investigators found new evidence Wednesday during a search of the backyard at his former family home on Wisteria Drive in Everman, southeast of Fort Worth. Investigators on Wednesday loaded a tarp containing evidence into a van that drove to Tarrant County Medical Examiner's office. The discovered human remains have not been officially identified. Now it's a picture of Noel. Oh, poor Noel, man. And it says, police previously concluded Noel was likely dead based on circumstantial evidence, with his mother allegedly calling him evil and possessed by a demon, and telling multiple false stories about his disappearance, including that she sold him to a woman at a Fiesta Mart. Okay. Cindy Rodriguez fled the U.S. on March 22nd, 2023, flying from Dallas-Fort Worth to Istanbul, then India, with her husband and 6 children. Here is a picture of them all flying. Okay, 2 days after Everman police came to check on Noel. So they came to check on Noel, and the whole family decides to fly out. Now, I do know they put all the money on a credit card. Okay, and not only that, this is the stepdad. This is the stepdad right here, people. This is Archdeep Singh. Investigators discovered Archdeep Singh, the stepfather of missing 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, stole $10,000 from his employer before fleeing the country, according to Everman police. He deposited $8,000 of the stolen money into a personal account, investigators found in financial records. Okay, the FBI arrested Singh after she was placed on the 10 most wanted fugitive list in July 2025 with a $250K reward offer. She faced charges of capital unaliving. So this is where they were living at. So Charles owned the property, which I looked, he still currently owns the property. He's just renting it out to another individual. So he does own the property, and this shed back here is where the family was living. And unfortunately, this is where he was buried. Very sad situation. Now, I did a background check on Mr. Arshdeep, okay? Arshdeep Singh. On his background check, it comes right up. Watch list. National Investigation Agency of India. Okay? So he's right now on the watch list on the National Investigation Agency of India. Okay? Arshdeep Singh. All right, and it says address remarks. It says IND, which is India. Offense, absconding. Pretty much he ran away. All right. Person, it goes the address. So right here is giving you where he possibly could be located at, or the last place he possibly was. Let's see if I paste it in Google. Let's see what happens. It says Patmel Village Dala is a rural settlement located in the Moga Tush Hill and district of Punjab, India. The village falls under the jurisdiction of the Mana police station and uses local postal code 142011. So this is where either they think he is at or the last location of where they think he was. All right, so let's take a look here. And this is Dala right here. So he's somewhere over in India, you know, that they're thinking. Now he could be, I don't know if you guys have ever been to India. I haven't, but there's a lot of people walking the streets in India. So he could just be blending in perfectly. And then if you click on, they give you a little link here, click on the link. It takes us to the National Investigation Agency for India, and all these people right here are people who are wanted, okay, that are in India, which there is a lot of people. So I wanted to run down and break down the history of this case for you guys, because I know I wasn't the only one probably wondering what the full history was, wondering exactly Cindy Singh, like, was she married? If she's married, who's the dad of Noel? The stepdad, come to find out he stole $10,000 from an employer. And this is one of the reasons how they were able to flee the country. He needed that money and put it on a credit card. I'm pretty sure he didn't pay the credit card company back, right? And he's still on the run right now. All right. Now, as far as I know, his felony charges are all financially related. I don't think any of his charges have to do with anything Noel at this moment anyway. Now, people are wondering what made them go back after all these years back to the backyard to start digging and search for Noel. Because remember, in the older reports, it says, hey, they took the dogs. Now, the cadaver dogs did hit on certain areas. Like there was a porch that was installed with concrete. A contractor who went and installed the porch said that Christina or Miss Singh, that she was acting very weird and just very weird when he was installing this concrete porch, and saying it needs to be thicker on this side. And he didn't really ask a lot of questions, but he just said she just felt off. And the dogs did, I guess, pick up a smell in the backyard, but at that time they didn't have the resources to their fullest of capabilities to start digging up the whole backyard, you know, to get him. Now, we don't know if the mom, since she's been incarcerated, has said anything and said, hey, you need to go in the backyard. This is where he's at. We don't know. I'm thinking maybe she probably did say something, which is probably why they went back to the backyard to find out something. And she probably did say something. Are they going to catch the dad in India? I don't know. We'll find out. Where are the other kids? And when they caught her in India, who was she with? Did they go their separate ways? I got so many questions of what happened when the whole family went to India. Did they go their separate ways and she just got arrested and picked up? you know? So I want to know exactly how that happened. And I'm pretty sure you guys want to know too. So hopefully in the future we get to find out. Please like, subscribe. All right. And if you felt this gave you a little more information on this case than what you were previously lacking, please let me know below, because I know this helped me out. Please take care of one another. Help me also get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. Join the membership if you want to help support this channel so I can go full time. And love one another, take care of one another, look out at your surroundings, watch your surroundings. Until next time, this is Fugitive TV, and I'm out.